Twin soul reunion, a sign of spiritual awakening. Perceptive readers of my recent articles have probably noticed that I have hinted at an out-of-the-ordinary meeting of a man, a parent at my children's elementary school, as a sign of spiritual awakening. This is because this man happened to be my twin soul, sometimes also called twin flame, and what's important about twin souls is they catalyze each other's spiritual growth and awakening. Catalyze being his word. I have not included twin soul reunion in my list of 9 essential signs of spiritual awakening because I am not sure whether everyone on this planet has a twin soul/twin flame who is at this time incarnate. Yet, meeting your twin soul is one of the most powerful signs of spiritual awakening. Before I go into a bit of my story, I want to explain that meeting a twin flame does not mean you will marry him or her. What's more important is the spiritual awakening and growth that will be catalyzed from that meeting. Why? Because what's important at this time is not necessarily that you will end up in a relationship with your twin soul, although it's possible, but that you will awaken after millennia of living in an illusion you actually helped create. The twin soul has an effect on you most other people don't have. Already back in 2001 there were hints that this person may have been my twin soul. We had many things in common, almost as if we were mirrors of one another. There were some differences, too. After all, after our original, angel, soul split into 2, human, souls, we took different paths in our evolutionary process. We experienced many different lifetimes and paths even though we had known each other in some of those lifetimes. In 2008, after I had awakened to who I was, my twin soul Jay told me that ever since he was a kid, he knew that one day he would meet a girl, his word, who would answer some mysterious questions he had about himself. Questions like who he really was. At that point I knew who he was. I knew who he was 2,000 years ago, and who he was when the first archangels broke away from oneness to become individual aspects of the divine. But I did not just tell him. I had worked so hard to discover who I was. It had taken me years of soul searching and synthesizing of channeled puzzle pieces as well as signs from the universe to realize who I was. Besides, I could not just tell him. He would never believe me. I knew he had to come up with the answers himself. Ask me some questions, the right questions, and I will give you the answers, I said. About an hour later he had guessed right. But then after he contemplated it and even accepted it, he thought he needed to modify who he was. He wasn't ready to face it yet. It takes direct experience to awaken to who you really are. We are here to help humanity complete the great cycle of duality, dark versus light, by discovering its gifts. Yes, there are great gifts in duality, otherwise humanity would not have chosen to experience it. And it makes complete sense to me that the one who has been held most responsible for making duality possible has been ordained an important role in its completion. There are analogies in this story for humanity, and particularly for you reading this article. Part of spiritual awakening is discovering firsthand who you are and what you're capable of. and part of it includes awakening to your past lives and the wisdom your soul has accumulated ever since the original breaking off billions of years ago. Meeting your twin soul, and what unfolds around that, can be an important part of the spiritual awakening process.